Hello everyone. So I am now the proud owner of a copy of my third symphony, which came in the mail the other day. As you can see, it's kind of got a brooding cover to it, and on the back is just the traditional thing I do with all my scores out of the Fazell catalog. And of course, the artwork is something from unsplash.com with a fellow by the name of Johannes Plenio as the photographer. But check it out, pretty cool. And then on the side here, of course, it's kind of a big book, 400 some pages, and of course, plenty of score material in the front of the book. Check it out. And of course, all the parts in the back. So if you buy a book, then you of course get all the parts, and you're welcome to photocopy it because you need it for as many players as you like. So that's pretty cool. Third Symphony, it's a little bit less chromatic than my other symphonies, more Vaughan Williamsy, less Baxian, I should say, and it involves the climate. So each movement has something to do with climate and climate change. So we've got part one, which is depicting a hurricane. So you've got like a fast part, fast and fiery part, as if you were a plane intersecting a hurricane. Then it reaches a calm middle section, kind of like an eye of a storm, and then it finishes again with fast and fiery music. And then second movement is more relaxed. Let's see if I can find it here. There we go. Second movement. I didn't put a title there, but you can look on my YouTube channel and find the second movement. It's all about mourning the loss of ecosystems and ice loss, or ice mass loss on the northern hemisphere up in the polar region, and droughts. And so that's what the second movement's all about. And then we have a third movement, which kind of depicts like a wildfire moving through, or rapidly moving through a section of land, and just, of course, consuming man-made structures that took a pretty intense amount of capital to build over time. So there we are, wildfires and human perseverance. So not only do we have music that depicts the spreading of a fire, but we also have it interstitched with kind of more of a heroic type themes in here. I think, yeah, right in here actually. So it must be the C section. C section. So it's interstitched with moments where the humans are getting together and actually doing something about climate change, and finding ways to mitigate the effects already baked into the system. So that's pretty cool, and so I need to send that out. Usually I've found from my own experience that you have to send one of these books out to at least 20 different groups for one to consider it. So this one's kind of a big book too. It's like $20 for this, so I'm gonna try to make a just a book with just the score without all the parts at the end, because that's really what makes the bulk of the book is just all the players' individual parts in there. And so I think I can make one with just the score, make it cheaper, and then maybe send it out to some groups. I live in Los Angeles, so I want to send it out to like Pasadena Community Orchestra, and then the regular Pasadena Symphony, and other local groups. But of course, I'm up to sending it anywhere. I like to would eventually like to have a presence on the East Coast where I'm from. So, you know, symphonies in North Carolina, Virginia, that type of area there. And then we also have, oh, one more thing on this. I was going to make a video on how to find this on lulu.com, Lulu.com, but they're in the middle of a reworking of their site, and half my catalog is missing right now, and I can't log on. And you can kind of see what they say here. To all our valued Lulu family of creators, I want to extend my sincere apologies to those of you who have experienced issues resulting from our new site release over the last 48 hours. It's been more than 48 hours since they've put this up. All of us at Lulu appreciate your patience as we work through these issues. We know that for some of you, this is a big disruption in your life, and we can't apologize enough for that. We value each and every one of our creators and understand the trust you put in us when you upload content, etc., etc. So actually, when you go to the Lulu site, I only have like 8 pieces of my catalog now online. It's the other several pieces are missing on some server that's not accessible at the present, so hopefully they download everything to their new server or whatever they have to do to get the pieces up and running. So at least I got a few pieces here. There's my music for trumpet and piano. I've got a second symphony, which like I said is more chromatic and a little bit more complicated than my latest one. I tried to do my latest one a lot less complicated just because I'm dealing with more time constraints than I used to be. I've got a nice piano quartet, which I'll say more about here in a minute. Just old music I wrote for movies. Let's see, there's my third symphony. For some reason they only have half the picture. And there's also stuff I wrote for clarinet, flute, and piano. I'd like to get back into piano writing. I have a new piano program I bought like a year or two ago that I haven't really used that much. I've just been using my old piano sounds from that I purchased years and years ago. Here's a piece for clarinet and piano. I have a viola sonata. I turned that into a contest, I think, a month or two ago. I haven't heard anything back, but I'm pretty bad about checking email and staying on top of things like that. So who knows? They could have called me. They could have not, or the contest may not be over yet. So who knows? And let's see. Oh, I'll show you next regarding that piano quartet. So along with the climate symphony, we also have a piano quartet that also deals with climate related themes. So we have a piano quartet in 2 movements. Kind of have a fast and fiery movement again. There's our first movement, and then we also have a second, more reserved movement. So it's kind of taking the form of Arnold Bax's sonatas and stuff, where he just does it in 2 movements instead of 3. And some of these other English composers do that as well, like Gerald Finzi and stuff. So just 2 movements. I wrote this in 2017. It was actually prompted by a violin teacher in Virginia that I met on Facebook. She was affiliated with something called the Garth Newell Music Center. I'll show you that on the internet here in a sec. And probably like 2015, something like that, was when I was talking to her on the internet. And she asked me if I'd like to write something for the Garth Newell music contest. And after I got through whatever projects I was working on in 2015 and 2016, I sat down and wrote a piece for them in 2017, and I still haven't turned it into the contest yet. I plan to. I just, you know, the year rolls by and the contest ends at a certain date, and I've forgotten to turn it in the last few years. So hopefully I can just like maybe write him a note and stick it in the mail and say, please, just, I keep forgetting to turn it in, please just stick it in your upcoming contest or something like that. But like the reason I wrote it specifically for this contest is again, I'm from the East Coast. This is kind of my countryside out here. I can show you. Sorry about the low quality of video here, but the Garth Newell, they have their own website. So if you just Google garthnewell.org, you can find it, or just Google Garth Newell Music Center. And of course they have like lots of stuff going on here. They've got the piano quartet that does the composition contest every year, and of course they've got education programs for kids and whatnot. And I don't know, I think they still have, or at least in the past they've had one where you learn more Appalachian type music and stuff like that with your violin. And it's in a really pretty part of the countryside, and it's kind of got a unique and good looking venue to it. Let's see if I can scroll down here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully the video quality is good enough. But this is kind of like what their countryside looks like. Let's see if I can play the video if my computer is fast enough. I have a notoriously slow computer. I bought it for like $200 at Best Buy when my old one died. So it may or may not play, but you can kind of see it's kind of, you know, rolling hills in the western part of Virginia. I think it's called Bath, Virginia, or something like that. And it's just a nice music center out in the countryside there. Well, apparently my computer doesn't want to play it unless I'm, let's see, let's try one more time. Oh, there we go. There we go. So you can kind of see the countryside there. And then, oh yeah.
What do I love about
Let's fast forward to see if we can find
one, it has the best cello solo ever written. Two, it has
right here in the background of this cello player, you can kind of see their stage. It's kind of like a pole barn design, kind of rustic design in the background, but it's kind of like a state-of-the-art music stage for classical music. So it's a pretty neat place. That's the reason I wrote that piece was just, you know, if I just out of the 1 in 100 chance that you win the contest, then you get to go and hang out in that part of the countryside, which I think is very beautiful. Let's see. I guess that's all I have for you right now. That's what I've been doing. I mostly just do non-musical projects these days. Trying to fix up my kitchen, make new kitchen cabinet doors and things like that. And I've made some furniture. I've made this little piece of furniture here, it's not as fancy as a kitchen cabinet door, but it's kind of like, you know, you just use the cheap pieces of wood at Home Depot, and for, you know, $40 you can have a new piece of furniture. My websites were down for a while. It's still on this lulu.com. They still don't have my actual fiction book, or literary fiction book I wrote a few years ago. So hopefully they'll update that and finally get that back up and running. My websites died the other day. I had to renew them. And one of them is something called Woodbridge and Hedgley. Let's see if I can pull it up here. So this is what Woodbridge and Hedgley looks like. woodbridgeandhedgley.com. I haven't contributed to it for a few years. I was just answering literary questions that I had written that are in the back of the book. So if you buy the book on Amazon, or hopefully on Lulu eventually, when they ever upload their stuff to their new server or whatever they're doing. If you look in the back of the book, there's literary questions. So I was going through those and making blog posts about the literary questions. But I haven't actually messed with it for a few years. It's just I've had other projects to do, both creative and non-creative. So, but if you visit this website, you can look at like my introduction videos to the novel, and also Of Woodbridge and Hedgley is a fictional novel set in 1820 and 21 in the countryside of Gloucestershire, England. So yeah, you can watch the videos and read the stuff if you like. So I guess that's all I've been doing. I've got more non-musical projects to do, and then hopefully in the second quarter of the year I'll be back to writing some music. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Like I said, I have a new piano program I'd like to use. My non-musical projects or my construction projects, fixing up DIY type things, have kind of irritated my carpal tunnel a little bit more. I had it stable for several years, but after dealing with the woodworking for a few months, it's kind of irritated my carpal tunnel. So hopefully I'll be able to write some more piano related music. Hopefully I'm not incapacitated in that respect. So I guess we'll see later on in the year. I've still got some construction to do too, which, you know, may irritate it further. I guess that's all I have for you right now. Well, thanks for watching the video, and yeah, stay tuned. Maybe I'll get some more stuff up at the end of this year. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.